Well, good morning. My name is Laquita Parks, and this is another episode of My Heart on Pages. And listen, I know that every week you guys hear me say how super excited I am because I absolutely love authors. And I love hearing their stories and their heart on pages. And so today I am over the hill excited. So that's a new word for me today, guys. Over the hill excited because I have been introduced to such an amazing person. And he's going to tell you all about his story. But first of all, I want to say thank you to Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, for the connection. And I am super excited about this interview. So without further ado, I'm Laquita Parks. I am the CEO and founder of PayProV Publishing. And PayProV is Pain, Progress, Victory, because I believe without pain, there is no progress. And without progress, there can be no victory. So I help people take their stories from a thought to a realization. And My Heart on Pages is all about authors and their journey to their story. So it's all about their heart on pages. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Professor Roel. Did I say that right?
Yes, you're right.
Yes, Professor. So we got to say Professor. So how are you? You're in India, right?
Yeah.
So
First of
it's
all, let me uh, thank you for giving me this opportunity for the interview. So I am very much excited to be interviewed by you. And first of all, I would like to share with you the fact that I had brain stroke more than a year ago,
okay.
and year 2021, I had a brain stroke during the second lockdown in India, and my right portion of the body was totally paralyzed, and doctors thought that I won't survive because it took 7 hours for me to recover. Usually, it takes 4 hours to recover. Since I'm already 59 years old, it was a very one more big challenge. But because of the power of my subconscious mind, and because of uh, positive psychology, and because of my right attitude and willpower, I'm back and I'm back to the track.
Wow. Wow. So you had a brain stroke. Now,
Yeah,
how is a brain stroke different from any other stroke? Is that the same thing? Because I've never heard it said as a brain stroke.
yeah. This brain stroke, it is something happened to me, and this the first time in my life it happened. Actually, I am from a military veteran, and I have been hitting gym for more than 40 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
daily I do workout for 1 year. So I have
Mhm.
been doing it for 40 years. But unfortunately, during the second wave of coronavirus, it's a side effect of coronavirus. Then I had high blood pressure, and my entire right portion of the body was paralyzed. So it is known as brain stroke.
Wow.
So people call with different names.
Mhm.
Some people call it as paralysis, but
Mhm.
it is more than paralysis. It is a brain stroke that impacted due to high blood pressure. And now I am using blood thinner to avoid any kind of health issues. And I'll have to take blood thinner throughout my life.
Oh, wow. 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 So that's just been 1 year ago.
It happened in, I think, let me share it with you, May 10th, 2021.
Wow.
I was on the bed, and literally I was dead. I was lucky to be alive after the brain stroke.
Mm. So how are you doing since then? Because you look like you're doing well.
The thing is, uh, maybe because of my military discipline, whatever it is, I'm not worried about these things because I have seen so many challenges in my life, struggles and sufferings. And to start with, I was born in a toxic family and grew up into a toxic environment.
Mm.
I have ADHD. Uh, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder,
Mhm.
and I'm dyslexic. And added to that, this brain stroke has ruined my prospects. That
Wow.
too at the age of 58. Now I am 59. So many challenges, so many troubles, so many adversities, so many problems I encountered in my life. I have mental challenges, physical challenges, and financial challenges.
Oh,
So
wow.
many challenges, but despite all the challenges, despite being a dyslexic, despite being growing up in a toxic environment, despite with ADHD, despite being a survivor of brain stroke, I'm recovering. So many challenges. It's more than a year, and I'm doing physiotherapy exercises, and I still have to do physiotherapy exercises for one more year. The entire right side of the body was paralyzed. My right shoulder is numb. There is no sense to my right hand. So
Mhm.
I am doing physiotherapy exercises regularly, so that I'll get back to the track, and I can get back to my feet.
So what's a normal day look like for you? So walk us through a normal day for you.
Uh, my daily, do you mean to say that you're talking about my daily routine?
Yes.
Yeah, I wake up at morning 4 o'clock every day, right? And night 10 o'clock I sleep. So morning to night, I keep working hard.
Mhm.
So morning, am basically a morning person with a military background. I'm a military veteran. So
Mhm.
4 o'clock I get up, and I'm very disciplined. I keep early morning. I create the things. So I am like a creator, and throughout the day, I am the generator. That means I generate ideas, connecting the dots and all those
Mhm.
things.
Mhm.
So I am the generator throughout the day. In the night, I am the destroyer. In the sense, night I remove unwanted ideas, unwanted things from my mind. So I eliminate negative things from my mind. So early morning, I am the creator. Throughout the day, I am the generator. In the night, I am the destroyer. To put it uh, precisely, this is how my routine in a day.
Oh, I like that. I like I like the way you put that. That's nice. So at night you're the destroyer. I love that. So is that this do you think that's what has helped you to heal from your brain stroke?
Uh, because of the positive energy and because of the power of subconscious mind. See, the moment I collapsed after the brain stroke, I unlocked the power of subconscious mind, because
Mm.
we all have the power within us. But I unlocked the power of subconscious mind. I keep telling within my mind that I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm getting all right within my mind. So that worked out to my mind. Although I was on the bed, still that power, inner power, helped me recover, and to get back to the free. That's how I have recovered.
Oh, I love that. So you know what? That's really a lesson for a lot of people. The power of your mind, the power of your thinking. You have the
Yeah,
power to overcome a lot of
yeah,
things that you're going through. If you it has to start with the positive thinking and the
yeah,
discipline and the
yeah,
discipline. I like
yeah,
that because you hear a lot of people, a lot of times they count themselves out. I
uh,
can't do it. I
yeah,
can't do it. And then you're surprised because when you hear somebody who's had a brain stroke, you're like, okay, well, what did they do? What did they do? And when you say, I started reacting that mind of that positive thinking, some people like, no, they did something else. They don't want to buy into that. And I love that. I love that. So you wrote a book,
yeah. I published 50 books.
50
50
books.
books. 50 books.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about 50 books. So what made you, first of all, what made you, have you always been a writer?
No. Uh, uh, it's a good question. But people won't believe. But I, at the age of 18, I joined Indian military. That is Indian Air Force. So I was not blessed with regular education. So let me share with you my journey. So I was lucky that I came out of my toxic family members and toxic family background. And at the age of 18, I joined the Indian Air Force, that is Indian Air Force military. And I acquired qualifications after I joined the Indian Air Force. At the age of 18, I was a college dropout, but I continued my journey of learning. I acquired a couple of qualifications. They include DME, BSc, MA, MBA, PGDCLL, PGDBM, and my PhD in soft skills in the year 2011. So this is the journey of my life. Despite being a dyslexic, despite with ADHD, despite not blessed with any regular education, people think that I acquired qualifications from reputed universities in the world like Stanford or Kellogg's or various other institutions. But the reality is that I was not blessed with regular education. I acquired qualifications through my own learning.
Wow. Wow, that's a lot of discipline. That's really a lot of, and you know what you said, in spite of, because there are a lot of people who come from toxic families, and they call it, some people call it generational curses. Well, because my family was toxic, or I was in this situation, I have to continue to be in the
Oh,
situation. But you don't have to. You can make a
yeah.
choice and you can come out of it. So
Oh,
even with the
excellent.
learning, you have a learning disability, and you didn't let that stop you. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
See,
that.
see, these are all mental limitations, you know. We have to make a choice. What you say is right. We have to make right choices. I have made right choices, and I have come from military background, and I started growing in the right direction. Although I was born in a toxic family, I had a little bit of negativity to start with because of the genes. But Indian Air Force, the military has groomed me in the right path. And I started acquiring qualifications and acquired various qualifications. And I was in the military for 12 years, in the lowest rank of corporal. Then I took retirement after serving for 12 years. I don't get any pension.
Mm,
And then I got into business for a decade. Then I entered into teaching field because
mm,
teaching is very close to my heart. So I started sharing my knowledge freely with the students. Then I got into writing. So I started writing for the last, I think I can say 12 years. I started writing, and I wrote books. And I also wrote books in various categories, like some books on student
mm-hmm,
leadership.
mm-hmm.
Some are about training and development. Some are about mindfulness. Some on gender. Some are about executive education, like that, you know. And I wrote books in various categories because I don't want to confine myself to a particular area. See, I'll show you a couple of books. This is the book I would like to share with you. This is the book,
See the
See the
light.
Light in You,
Okay.
for which uh, uh, His Holiness Dalai Lama, the Nobel laureate, has written a
Oh,
foreword
nice. Very
for this book.
nice.
This is one of the best books in my life. This is on mindfulness. Okay, so people talk about the coronavirus, but I told before coronavirus itself, you know, I emphasize it on mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
and there is more emphasis on mindfulness, especially after coronavirus. Things have changed, so people started focusing more on uh, wellness and mindfulness. All those things they are focusing. This is one book, and this book is about. I write books of various categories. This is the
Oh
book
yeah. Think
on women,
manager, think
women
man.
leadership.
Oh, good. Now, how did you get? I'm going to talk about that, but let's go back to the other book. The see the light in you. Let me ask you a
Okay.
question
Okay.
about that book.
Uh, uh,
So,
uh,
first of all, how did you get the Dalai Lama to write your foreword?
yeah. Uh, the noble laureate, His Holiness Dalai Lama, I requested him because I'm passionate about writing, then I write books in various categories. So I started writing a book on mindfulness. Then I thought for this book, who is the ideal person to write forward for this book? Then I questioned myself. Then His Holiness Dalai Lama has flashed on my mind. Then I requested His Holiness Dalai Lama. Then I, I, I sent my manuscript, and His Holiness Dalai Lama has read it, appreciated. Then he has written a foreword. This is how the journey with the Nobel laureate has begun.
Oh, I love that. So what was the inspiration to make you write that particular book?
This book is very much required, not because of coronavirus or COVID. This book is required because some 4 5 years back, I thought of writing a book on mindfulness, but I was busy with writing about executive education, then gender, then various other various areas. But this book, I thought this is very much required by because when I was providing training programs, especially for students, and when I worked in the private colleges, I have come across some of the young people. I have seen some suicides in the campuses.
Mhm.
So then that triggered my mind. I thought I should focus on mindfulness. So then I started writing about this depression, then mindfulness, wellness, then why students are committing suicides, then why divorces are rising. So I started thinking about it. Then I wrote a book. I think the journey with this book has begun. I think 4 to 5 years. Then finally things worked out, and finally my book has been published.
Awesome. So how has I know oftentimes when we write, we're writing for some people write for themselves, but oftentimes we're writing for other people. We see something going on, we see a need, and we can help with that need, and so we write about it. So how has that book, See the Light in You, how has that helped you in your recovering from the brain stroke? Did you use your
You
own
asked,
material?
yeah, no, 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 no. You said right because there is a need. Whenever there is a need, and we need to fill the gap. You said rightly. You are very smart woman, and you told correct. So you found some gap. I also found gap. Then this is the gap. This was the gap. Then I wanted to fill the gap
Mhm.
because I'm a researcher and author. So I wanted to fill the gap. For example, there was a gap that suicides were rising, divorces were rising, and there was need for mindfulness and wellness. So that was the gap. Then I filled that gap.
Mhm.
Okay, that's how I filled the gap, and I wrote a book. Now coming to the next question, I think you have asked one more question. What is that question?
What was did you use you wrote this book, you saw the need, but how have you used that book, your own writings, to help you heal from your brain stroke?
This is something happened subsequently, but I have written book 4 years back. Okay, but it was a boon in disguise that I had brain stroke more than a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
But this my personal challenge taught me so many challenges. I thought to apply the theory into practical. So I started applying things practically after the brain stroke by doing certain physiotherapy exercises, by emphasizing more on some of the areas which are connected with the physiotherapy. So that's how things have rolled into, and this is how things have uh, come into the place.
I like that. You know, sometimes I wrote a book called Walking Limitations. It's about my true story of medical childhood trauma at the hands of a
Mhm.
nurse. And
Ah.
as I was reading it, and I wrote it about 5 years ago. And I
Mhm.
also wrote a book of motivation and inspiration called Good Morning Friends. And I had to go to the Mayo Clinic and I needed some encouragement. And sometimes we look outside for encouragement. And I was sharing the book with somebody, and there was something that I written in the book, and I said, "Oh wow." For me, I was like, I need to read my own book because it made sense. So
Yeah, yeah,
it gave me the encouragement. And sometimes that happens when we present it, or we do workshops, or we do master classes for people, and then when we go through things, instead of looking at what we've already shared, because we have the
yeah.
answers, and then we kind of look to somebody else and say, okay, you know what, you knew this, you know this, Laquita, you
Mhm.
already know
Mhm.
this. Just use
Yeah.
your own words that you use to help other people, to help yourself. So I
Mhm.
love that. So what was the first book that you wrote? The first book that you ever wrote. Why did you write that book?
First book is an Secrets to Success. That was the book written, I think, maybe 12 or 13 years back. I wrote book,
Okay.
and maybe more than 100 publishers rejected my book first time.
Really?
But I never give up. I'm basically I'm very passionate. I'm persistent, and I will never give up.
I
I'm
love it.
patient. I'm persistent, passionate, okay, and patient. These three are the hallmarks of my personality. Okay, I'm patient, but I am persistent.
I'm writing
Okay,
that down. I'm writing
yeah,
that down. You're patient, persistent, and passionate.
yeah.
And you know
I'm
what?
passionate. I'm passionate. I'm persistent. And one more thing, uh,
And patient.
uh, patient, persistent, and passionate.
Yes.
These three are the areas.
I like that. And you know what? So, listeners, if you're listening, he said that more than 100 publishers rejected his first book. So, but he's patient, passionate, and persistent. And I probably
Yeah,
didn't say that in the right order. But listen, that's a word to you. Be confident and bold in what you're doing. If people don't like your book, there's so many different ways. You can always self-publish your book. You don't have to
yeah,
wait for somebody to approve you if it's something
yeah,
that you're passionate about. And a lot of times, and Professor, I thank you for saying that, because a lot of times there are people who are trying to write their story, and they have family members. I had one lady who was writing her story, and her mom passed away, and she showed the story to her mom's friend, and her mom's friend said, "Oh, I don't think your mother would approve of you writing a book with that includes her." And I said, "But it's your story. So it doesn't matter how other people feel. Write your story, because I believe that there's somebody waiting on the other end of your story so that they can heal from their story." And that's what you've done with See the Light in You. You're telling people there's light inside of you. But if I
yeah,
don't see that, Professor, if I don't believe that, then I'm not going to see it. It's going to be dark inside. So
yeah,
I love that. Now you talk about mindfulness and you talk about wellness.
yeah.
So tell me, how are those two different? Because sometimes people will think it all bundles together, but it doesn't. It's separate, right?
Both are different. Wellness is something is different from mindfulness. Mindfulness is it's holistic. Wellness is a particular subset of mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very broader term, and wellness is a narrow term. Wellness means something about health or other aspects, but mindfulness means living in the present without excessively thinking about the future, without thinking about the unpleasant past, and learning to live in the present. So mindfulness is different. Wellness is be something, some health and other things, but mindfulness is a very holistic one. There are so many areas in the mindfulness,
Mm-hmm.
and when you look at the research, people waste 30% of their time on the past, which can't be uh, recovered back. Okay, so what we have to do is we waste our precious time on thinking about the unpleasant things. So we
Mhm.
should forget the unpleasant past. Let us not worry about the future, which can't be predicted. Let us learn to live in the present. This is what is all about mindfulness. Mindfulness is very much required. Okay.
I like that. And so how do you incorporate wellness in your book? What do you touch on wellness?
As you said, wellness means about health. For example, now we are focusing more on corporate trainings. When you look at companies like Google and some of the companies, they are focusing on wellness
Mhm.
because this is very much required. Because when you emphasize on wellness, what happens? You lead a very peaceful and happy life, and also you will be productive, and you provide meaning for
Mhm.
your work, and you will enjoy your life, and also there will be people won't leave the uh, companies. They will stick to the organization. So that's the reason, the companies, they are emphasizing more on wellness. And not only companies, even everywhere in daily life also, we are everybody is emphasizing on wellness. Especially things have changed after the post COVID scenario. There is more emphasis on wellness than ever before.
Yeah, especially since the COVID. And so people too, they know that, they have to understand that health and wellness go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And more companies than ever before, more
Yeah.
companies than ever before are focusing on wellness. And I remember when I worked in corporate America, they had a wellness committee, and
Yeah.
I was the co-chair of that committee. And one of the things that was important to me was well-rounded wellness. So we
Mm.
we we talked about wellness from a physical standpoint, getting up and move and exercising. We talked about wellness from a nutritional standpoint, what goes into your mouth, what's good to eat, what's not good to eat. And then we talked about wellness from a financial standpoint, because if your finances are not good, if you're
Yeah.
struggling financially, it's going to make you stress. It's going to make you not well. If you're, and it goes hand in hand, whatever you eat, whatever not exercising. I have some debilitating issues with my legs. So the only exercise I can do is water. And
Water.
when everything was shut down with the COVID, it was hard for me because walking, I can't do a lot of walking, and it was very difficult. And so now that things are open back up and I get a chance to go to the pool, I don't know how to get out of the water. So I'm in the water, but even though my body feels sore, from because it's been a long time, but I feel better. You feel better. So when you're doing those things that provide wellness, you feel better, and it increases your productivity. So you're the professor. So what are some of the benefits of wellness? When you have total wellness, what are some of those benefits? I know I just shared a couple of them.
Wellness, it's a very long list of wellness. Uh, so some of the things I have mentioned is about uh, this monkey mind. Monkey mind is,
Mhm, mhm,
that keeps people want to control their mind. So
mhm.
one of the aspect I talked about monkey mind, taming the monkey mind. That is one of the things I have mentioned in the book. One chapter talks about monkey mind because mind wanders here and there. That's quite natural.
I like
So
that.
how to tame that monkey mind? That's one. Second thing I talked about depression. How to overcome depression. The third thing, how to manage anger. So
That's a big
likewise,
one.
and fourth, how to unlock the power of subconscious mind.
Mhm,
Then again, I emphasized on positive psychology. So likewise, so various things I have covered in this book. Technology, the role of technology. Technology is required, but technology is both boon and bane. It's good, it's bad.
Mhm.
Technology is sometimes it's a nuisance, sometimes it's good. Because of technology, we are connected.
Yeah.
If there is no technology, we will never be connected. You and I are connected because of technology. So
Right.
technology is required. At the same time, excessive technology is also counterproductive.
Mhm.
So we need to balance. So like this, various aspects I have covered in this book.
I like that. And that makes a lot of sense, especially with younger people. Well, not just with younger people. Technology can be good and bad, but one of the things with technology, and I'm seeing it with my it's a some people say it's a blessing and a curse. One of the things with my grandson is 3, and he's very smart, so he knows how to operate. And the younger kids, they know how to operate the phones and all that. But when it's time, his parents censor what he watches and how much time. And when it's time for him to put the tablet down, he spazzes out sometimes because he wants to continue to look at it. And he can sit there, if they let him, he can sit there glued to that tablet all day. But then that becomes a problem because then there's no social skills. He doesn't want to interact with other people.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
3. He's 3. So imagine if they let this go on and till he's 5 or 10 or 15, it creates a problem. And I think sometimes an artificial thinking in a fantasized world.
I got I think you're right. Something has triggered my mind. What you say is right. Now the problem with young people and these children is that uh, uh, technology is good, but again it's a curse too. And second thing, uh, apart from technology, gaming, children
Yes.
they are unnecessarily wasting their time on. No, they can play games, but it should be within the healthy limits. Now in India also this is the problem. Even children they are into gaming. They are not studying. This is one
Mm-hmm.
more problem. And
Mm-hmm.
one more thing, what you said is that I rightly said it. Now it triggered my mind. Even I want to write a book on this, not now, in the future. See, these children, they don't have social skills. They don't have soft skills
That's right.
because they are sitting with technology. That's it. At least you are having some social skills. But the next generation, they are very smart. They are brilliant. I don't underplay their capacity. But still, at the same time, we need to have social skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's what is lacking in the. Especially, I can say that Generation Z is having a challenge now.
Mm-hmm.
They are tech savvy, brilliant, fine. Plus, plus side. The minus side is that lack of soft skills. Lack of soft skills. So we need to emphasize more on soft skills apart from hard skills. This is the
Mm-hmm.
area we need to look at it. Not only now, in the future.
Yes. My daughter has created she works from home, so they've created she's written a curriculum to
Oh,
homeschool,
oh,
and
oh, oh.
so they started homeschool yesterday. And so she has a 3-year-old, a one of 18, 19-month old, and a 6-month old. So they created this curriculum, and so I said, how was school? How was the first day of school? And the
Hmm.
3-year-old refuses to write with a pencil, but
Yeah,
he will write with a marker.
yeah,
And
mark.
the 1-year-old, he repeats, when you say 1, he says 2. You say 3, he says 4.
Ah,
Very smart. So when it was time, and they do it for half a day, so when it was over, the 3-year-old wasn't ready for school to be over.
ah,
He kept saying, come on, daddy, come on.
ah,
And so
ah.
he enjoyed that. But when she wrote the curriculum, I said, what do you have for social skills? Because they have each other, but they need to know how to react with people who are not in the household. So she takes
Yes.
them on little she has friends who have children, and they take them out. And so she's put this in the curriculum. One
Yeah.
day a week they will go out to the library or to do
Mm.
some school activities where they're communicating with other people. And I said
Mm.
that's a good thing, because as they grow older, it's gonna hurt. They're just like you said, they have the technology. They're very smart, very smart. It's impressive, but they don't know how to get along with each other. They don't know how to play. They don't know how to share. And those soft skills are important. So I love that. Listen, tell me about the other book, your
Okay,
other
okay.
book that
Let me add some more point. Then we'll. So
sure.
what you say is social skills. They are very much required. And what I implore is that we should encourage children to go to park. Uh, they move around with children.
Yes.
And daily evening I go to park for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep watching children and I encourage children, because in this way what happens, not only books are different, but we need to enjoy outdoor activities like playing with kids or in garden or in park. So these things will help us to develop social skills,
Mm-hmm.
and these things will help to acquire soft skills.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, you asked
That's
one more
okay. That's
question.
okay. And I
Yeah,
want to say also that it does not cost money, listeners.
yeah,
You don't have
yeah,
to
yeah,
you don't have to
yeah,
say, okay,
yeah.
well, I can't afford to do
Excellent.
this activity. The park
Yes.
is free. You
Yeah.
can take them to the park. There are museums for children that are free. They have free days. There are
Yeah.
a lot of things that you can do to interact and get your children, help them to become socially sound, and start when
Yes.
they're little, because if you start when they're 15, they
Yeah.
don't want to do it. It's when they're little, start engaging them and getting and having them have friends and
uh,
talking. And
uh,
it helps too. Do you agree?
yeah.
It helps too with the communicating, because when
Yeah.
they're buried into the tablet, they're not talking to anybody. The tablet and the sounds is talking back to them, so they're not using their words, and the tongue gets tied and they can't talk. So so do that, parents. Do that. So
Yeah.
so let's talk about your other book. My time goes by so fast when you're having fun.
So we really enjoy the conversation with you, and I don't know how time is passing so
I know.
quickly. So
Yes.
usually, people communicate for 10 minutes, 50 minutes, then they wrap up. But I don't know, somehow our conversation is going very actively. And
Yes.
you wanted to know about the another book, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I have written. I wrote 60 books, but 50 have been published. Okay. And I talked about one book that is on See the Light in You. The second book is this one. Strategies to build women leaders globally.
Oh wow. The forward is by
So
the Vice President of India. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
that's good. And the beauty of this book is that I keep writing books in various categories. This is on gender and diversity. This book I have dedicated to Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou, and Oprah Winfrey.
Wow. Three powerful women
Very
throughout
powerful, very
every
powerful.
aspect of history. Wow.
Yeah,
So
I admire.
why did you dedicate it to those three women?
I admire them. That's it. We admire some people by see
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln has been my inspiration. Inspiration. But apart from my inspiration, I love Nelson Mandela. I admire Nelson Mandela. I admire Martin Luther King. So
Yeah.
like that, some leaders I like. I read so many books. I read thousands of books during my lifetime. I have read biographies. So I got inspired by those things. And I keep writing so that I want to inspire the next generation of people. I want to leave a very good legacy. Okay. This is the reason why I have written this book. This is on gender. Okay.
Okay. I like that. I wrote a paper a while ago called Gender in the Workplace, and how it differs for women versus men. And I kind of talked about the history where we were and where we are now, and has anything really changed? So that was my my paper, and the conclusion that I came to was that some things have changed, but some things have not changed that much. So that's a very interesting subject. I'm going to get that book too, because we are, as women, struggling, especially as entrepreneurs, trying to you have, this is my field, this is my passion, this is what I'm passionate about, but there are still rooms that it's hard to get into, because it's like, oh, she's, she doesn't know, she's just a woman. So sometimes it feels like you have to kick those doors down instead of passively knock on the door. Knock, knock. So I'm curious to read that book.
We call it as a glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Glass ceiling is not exactly a woman. It's also about minorities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we think glass ceiling is the one thing. I one of the let me share with you. I have written a couple of articles on women leadership. Right now, I have one more book on gender. What you are telling, which is their behavior. If you want, I can show. Can I show you? I don't know.
Sure. Yes, please.
Please
Absolutely.
wait. Please wait. Please
Okay.
wait.
Sure.
Why I told you, it's a coincidence that you also like diversity and gender.
Yes.
This is one of the this is the book.
Exploring Gender at Work, Multiple Perspectives. Oh, wow. When did you write that?
My goodness, I have written so many books about. That's why that's why I wanted to show you. I didn't know that
I
also.
may have gotten some of my research from that book.
No, no, this is not the total book. This is one of the. This is an edited book.
Okay.
And I have one of the chapters on women leadership, because I have written so many articles on gender and diversity. So it is there now. Again, takes a lot of time. I think this is the book. Are you able to see it?
Yes, edited by John. Is that John Marquez?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness, I like that. So how can people connect with you?
It's very easy. I have my name is Professor M.S. Rao. If anyone Googles my name as Professor M.S. Rao, they can find me on LinkedIn, and I have two YouTube channels, and I'm available on LinkedIn. I'm very much powerful on LinkedIn, and I'm available. I have 4 blogs. One of the blogs is about Vision 2030, 1 million global leaders. I forgot to tell you. So many books. This is the book, Vision
Oh wow,
2030, 1
Vision
million
2030,
global
1
leaders.
million global leaders. Oh wow.
1 million. So many books I have written, because the time is very short, so I am sharing. So my books are available on Amazon, on various platforms. Only thing is they should know my name, Professor M.S. Rao, and I am available. I have 4 blogs. One blog is about Vision 2030, 1 million global leaders, and I have 2 YouTube channels, and I'm available on LinkedIn, Instagram, everywhere I'm available.
Okay.
So anyone can reach me out.
Wow. Well, this has been an amazing discussion. Thank you so much. I know that you're super busy, and I thank you so much for your time. Listen, if you have not, if you listen, follow Professor M.S. Rao, and
Rao.
and connect with him, and go to Amazon and purchase his books. I certainly will be doing that. I know that you are extremely busy, and we have to do a part 2 because I
Okay.
want to dive into some more of those books. I love talking about gender and diversity and what that looks like in the workplace. And you know what? I'm so glad that technology has connected us because you are very impressive. I am very, very pleased and honored to be able to meet with you and that you took the time. And I'm so glad that you've recovered from your brain stroke. I
Uh,
certainly am.
I would like to leave a message. If you
Yes.
could allow me, I would like to give a
Absolutely,
message.
absolutely. Get 1 second. So listen, if you guys, if you have a story, no matter what that story is, and you need help with that story, listen, there is power in your story. Write your story, share your story. If there's anything I can help you to share your story, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you no matter where you are in the story writing process. But just like the professor said, don't give up. Keep going. Listen, the only way that you won't fail is if you keep going. There is no failure in continuing. I'm a living witness of that. I am a living witness. Listen, and here's another thing. Don't wait for other people to invite you to their platform. Create your own and invite them. Okay, you can do that. My Heart on Pages is an opportunity for you to talk about your book project. And so, Professor, what last remarks you want to leave us before we say goodbye to our good viewers and our good listeners?
Okay, your mind resonates with my mind because our we are having similar thoughts. This is what thing I have learned from you. I'm very happy. It's an honor to be interviewed by you. Okay, that's one point.
Thank you.
And the second point is that there are a couple of messages I would like to leave it. But one message I would like to share is with the world is that my message from this video is that health first, education second, and wealth third. This is my philosophy in life. This is one message. Okay. Second philosophy in second message from this book is that I advocate gender equality globally. I have signed up for hashtag he for she. The message from this video is that a bird cannot fly with one wing. A, a bird needs to have two wings to fly. So that means both men and women have to collaborate and work towards to build a prosperous and a beautiful world. This is the message I would like to share with everyone. And at the end, I would like to thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I express my gratitude to you for this very inspiring interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love that. Listen, have a great day. This has been a plump, pleasing pleasure. Better than a triple decker peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And until next time, this has been another amazing episode with my special guest, Professor M.S. Raw, and on your Heart on Pages. This has been his Heart on Pages. Be blessed in your day. Until next time.
Thank you.